Hello, everyone. Ed Masonette, School of Life Defense. I'll look back later through any comments or anybody that passes through and definitely give you a shout out and acknowledge you. I'm going to try to stay on task. I have myself a little list here because I never want to skip details, but people only have so much time. And I figure on these snowed in days, there might be a few people sitting on the couch and might have some time to listen. So this is my 20th year of doing self-defense. I don't wear my belt often, but you can see I got some wear and tear here. And what I'm going to cover over the next 20, 30 minutes is basic striking for self-defense. So even before we start, I want to say anybody can hit anybody. I could hit Bob over here by mistake because I didn't look and I didn't turn, but I poked him in the eye real well, right? People think self-defense has to be this big violent machine. Sometimes it has to when the situation is calling for that. But right now what we're saying is you had to do something because complying wasn't enough, and what they want you to comply with was far beyond what you were willing to give up, right? We don't fight for things, we fight for personal safety. And Ed, I'm going to fight for my family, my friends, and for anybody who's in the vicinity. So we're going to talk about some basic strikes, and these are the same strikes that, MMA guys or anybody who's doing boxing, we're using punches, but we use punches in a very technical manner because we need results for every strike that we throw. We can't hope that it's going to work. We have to have done the work so that we can be accurate, balanced, not falling over and not missing and hitting for self-defense. And that means when you're striking somebody, you have a position of coverage, right? You're not selling your face, these kind of things. Just as an overall summary, right at the top, we're going to do some all-finger strikes, palm strikes. That's the base of the palm and also can be the side of the palm. We call that the ridge. And with skill, you can even hit with the front of the palm as long as you don't damage your knuckles and stuff. And I tell you, it gets a little martial arty when you spend some time and really investigate how to use your natural tools, how to use improvised tools, something you might pick up. Because remember, if it's true self-defense, we're going to hit them with everything, right? A is hit them, B is hit them, C is hit them, A minus, B sharp, C flat, all of them. I'm going to hit them until I'm not in danger, right? The threat must be mitigated, must be eliminated. And I don't want to leave running with somebody behind me. I want to have done enough work so that the bad human can't follow me and I can get to a safe place without, getting attacked again by the same people. All right? Is it easy? No. Are we doing it because we want to? Absolutely not. We're doing it because we must, right? We must. Okay? We're going to go right off, and I want to show you something really quickly here. Everything I'm showing you can be done, right? Can be done from, I was standing minding my business, or maybe I was in the middle saying, whoa, 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 easy. I still have some space. Range is what's important here. Can they reach you? Do they have tools that can reach you? Don't forget now, the bad guy can carry pepper spray too, right? And that's a good way to mitigate a little pepper spray, and you go rub it on his face real quick, because then everybody can start crying and gasping for air. I was a bouncer for over 25 years, and I have been in the midst of people who have gotten sprayed in the face terribly. It works, and anybody can use that. And that's what I want to remind you is we are going to be violent for only the purpose of self-defense. We don't be violent for any other reason, any other reason. And I got to tell you, I share this in a loving, passionate way. I'd rather you help a brother up than knock a brother down. But some people, when they're doing something and it's beyond, listen, if it's something that you don't want nobody to touch you, take you, or move you somewhere, and they're not listening to your words, then you have to do something physically to make that happen. And let's be clear, I'm also talking about just a plain and simple violent attack. You're at the wrong place at the wrong time. And don't try to figure out why. Just get yourself to safety, and then you can figure that out. All right, let's get to business because I only got, 30 minutes over here and I want to stay in the box. And we're going to start right up on the hands. Now, you can use your feet first, right? But, you got to be very clear before you use your feet on a person because your fingers can slow people down. And you can always say, I'm sorry I poked you in the eye, but you can say that from the other side of the car, or you can do that from your house when, hopefully they don't come knocking on your door looking for you. All right, basic stance, right? I told you I move my list so I don't go left and right too far. All of this can happen from here. I can reach, I can attack the eyes. I could use a punch. I had something in my pocket. I splash change in your face. And there are a lot of tools on the self-defense market now that are in the legal range. You just have to look them up. And why does it hurt? And it never hurts to have a good steel shaft pen in your pocket as well, right? And there are techniques for everything. There's techniques for sweeping, punching, holding a pen, holding a blade, holding a pistol. There's techniques for all of it. And what I try to do with all my practitioners is we get immersed in the worst of the problem, right? The punch is already coming. The knife is already on my body. The knife is moving, and everybody knows that knife moving is just a terrible dilemma, right? But I just watched a 20, 30-minute video on knife stuff, and the last thing the guy said that fighting for your life was the best way to prevent getting dead, right? And your only really chance of saving yourself at all, because even running away was lower than fighting for your life. Because some people run, they don't run far enough or can't run far enough, or they run and they turn around and think they're going to be able to mitigate the problem there. The only thing that's going to help you against weapons is weapons training, situational awareness, and trying to apply it before it happens. Sometimes as the good guy, you have to go first. As the good person, right? You have to go first, right? It's a terrible situation. Here we go. From a basic stance. What is a basic stance? It's a comfortable big gait here. My knees are bent. My rear heel is off the ground because I'm not staying here once I've gotten in this position. And now let's be clear. If I was here, I could have walked into that position with a strike, right? I'm going to show you the strikes so that we can know how to hit, and then we're going to know how to put them together. And then we're going to put it under stress because we're going to put gloves on, and you're going to learn how to get your head out of the way, because what's the primary principles here, right? Principles, getting offline, right? I'm not going to chase what's bad around. I'm going to get out of the way and put better things in the way. Palms, bones, right? Big bones that can protect you. Basic stance is one hand early, one hand late, and we always move our head, right? One hand early, one hand late. The principle on Krav Maga and the concept is that when I move my head, if something's coming at me, I'm not just going to move it away. I'm going to try to move it away and maybe go get a piece, right? Slow the bad guy down. That's where these tools come in. If you know how to make good contact, fast, accurate, intentful contact with your whole body, we don't just hit with our hands. We hit with everything, right? I'm pushing off the planet so that I can move your retinas back, because they're in the way, because I wanted your brain, right? If you tap them in the brain, everything slows down. If you take the wind away, everything slows down. I had to make a list, or I would have never stayed in the lines. Let's go. All finger strikes, and I want to show you this primary movement. From passive stance, you rotate on your spine, because the spine is the center. When I roll, I get my shoulder closer to the bad guy. I can hide in my shoulder. A lot of boxers are famous for that kind of protection. They might fight with a hand down. We don't do that. If we're going to get into this problem, we're going to use the whole tank. And your fingers don't save you. Your palms do, right? Your palms can move things out of the way. They can get out of the way. Big bones in the way. Always moving our head, right? Early, late, always move your head. Knees are bent. Rear heel is off the ground because I'm leaving. I may leave away from the bad guy. I may get offline, get closer to the bad guy so I can do some things here to slow this machine down. Here we go. Spinning on the spine, using the balls of your feet when you make complete rotations. A straight punch on the left side will get life in my left leg, but it doesn't need that complete rotation from my hip. Things that are round, wood. I'm going to give it freedom, but I'm still pushing off the rear. I'm going to go slow here and extend to the eyes. I'm going around the mouth, fingers in the eyes. I don't want to touch anything there. And I'm hiding in my pocket. My shoulders spun around my sternum to make me longer, right? If I didn't turn, I would have never reached the problem. If I didn't tuck, right, my face would be exposed. Pushing off the rear foot, spinning off the spine, attacking with bones and nails. We don't do fingerprints. If you notice, you can barely see me there. The transition would come back to protect my face and ribs. I will rotate the other shoulder out, eyes, weapon, body supporting, and I might hit him again with the eyes here. And as you get better, you can change your weapon on the way in. Right? I got a lot of years of trying to figure out how I'm going to touch that brain and make it stop. All finger strikes for the camera here. Pushing off the rear, all finger, and back to protection, which is early, late. And if this got closer, I would get closer. But right now we're doing long arm range, right? Next thing on the tool is going to be the palms. Base of the palm to the nose, bridge of the nose, eyebrow shelf, the chin. You can bang that off the temple. And then I have a video with a few palm strikes. Once you get good at palm strikes, you can use a palm strike from any direction, as long as you know how to get your tool to the target with your body supporting that, right? Let's do some palm strikes here, right? We did all finger, and now we got a palm strike. One here, one here. I would never stop in the middle. If I mess up, I keep going, right? Here's a 1-2 here, palm strike. Boom, boom. Right? It's not 1-2, it's 1, and I can't wait to help my other buddy there, right? These guys are friends, right? One guy's working, one guy's protecting for kicks. You know, just because I'm hitting doesn't mean they're not hitting, right? We're always expecting the worst, and when it doesn't happen, there's a little music behind my knuckles, yeah? Right? All finger, palm strike, palm strike. That's the same way if I swung a bat. My whole body helped me. My shoulders driving, eyes, weapon, pushing from the rear. Boom, the shifting of my body. I'm trying to be in a pocket for safety. And I always save a little elbow. You never lock your elbow out. All finger. Palm strike, eyebrow ridge, chin. I can glance it off his temple out, glance it off his temple in. Glance it across. Very useful weapon. When you don't have a tool, when you don't have a lot of experience punching. Punches are good when you do them right and they land right. A weak punch is going to break your wrist. Hitting with little knuckles on hard things, going to break your hand. Now, we're going to move to the punch, right? All finger, spinning on the spine. Rotating the shoulder, driving hips on shoulders. We hit people harder and further away. Right? And anything that half a 250 hits, when it spins, it's going to hurt it, right? Especially with good hitting structure. Now, here we go. Your knuckles. People think this flat part, whole thing is for the punch. No way. That flat part, that's for your friends when you're playing around. Ask my buddies when I used to tell them, yo, lift up your elbow so I could give you a rib shot, right? All my life. Nice and flat. No, we're going to hit with the two big knuckles, right? Flat is for friends. Knuckles are for the enemy, right? If you're not sure about that, push on your hand, right? And then just pierce it with the two knuckles. Now, let's clean this punch up. This is not a straight line, right? Look at that. Two knuckles, straight line. And then when I back up off of it, you see how I'm going to hide behind it, right? If I showed you the side profile, boom, you can't even see my brain. And look at the size of this noggin. Look at my noggin. But look, when you try to hit me, boom, there's going to be nobody to hit. I still got a little elbow, and I'm pushed off the planet. And let's throw a fast one there, just on the right side, right? Boom, right out there. Boom. And then I freeze for you. I'm not giving up anything here. You kick me, I'm here, I'm ready. Boom. And I want to try to be the first one to hit. I want to try to be the second one to hit. I want to try to be the third one to hit, right? OODA loop. Observe, orient, decide, act. You had to see what's happening. You had to orient top, down, side. Is it coming straight? Then your body had to respond. If you don't put a response in your body, it's not going to respond. I don't put patterns in my practitioners. I put good technique, good punching, a good elbow, good knees, and then we mix it up. Sometimes we hit from the bottom up. Sometimes we hit from the bottom down. But the bad human's not going to know where it's coming from because he's going to be saying, what the hell did I get myself into? I walked into this wasp nest. A bear, a wasp, an alligator. I'm a Cajun Rican, right? Don't write me little letters. All right. Punches. Roll it close. Big knuckles. Right there. We don't do flat because flat breaks. We do a little 45 there because I like to engage my shoulder to protect my outside line here and a nice clean line. So it'd be knuckles replaced by knuckles. If you notice, I open my hands if I have to bring my hands all the way back, or I will keep my punches high because I don't want to put a knuckles by my own face. Somebody does this to you, punch him in his fist and he'll hit himself, right? Here we go, left, right punches. We'll just do a few. One here, 1, 2, boom, boom. 1, 2, boom, boom. It's 1 and 1 1,000. Not one action stopping and another action. This punch could be the beginning of whatever comes out of my body. Punches, fingers, elbows, and it's one rotation after another. As you get better, you can learn to hit on the way in, on the way out. Now, don't forget, I'm stuck in this little frame here. I would have moved around this bad guy. He would have thought there was 3 of me. All right? So we got all fingers, we got palm strikes, and we just did some punches. Big knuckles. See the straight line I'm making? Not this thing, that thing, and 45 degrees will keep it here. Your wrist won't bend much. If somebody drops their face when you punch them, it will slide down versus 90 degrees without wrapping in a glove is going to break, right? People are going to do that. They're going to hide from your punch, and you didn't stop it in time, you're going to break your wrist. This little mitigates that a little bit. It's not to say it's not going to hurt. Bone on bone hurts. Where we try to land on the face, little side note, socket. Only fingers actually go in the eyes, bones and nails. Don't forget about hurting the ear, bridge of the nose, cheekbone, right? Not the fleshy part, right at that bone there. Crack that orbital. I don't know. Sometimes it's worth it to me to punch a guy in the teeth. The chin, the temple, and remember, self-defense purposes only. Let's move on. Elbows. Remember I told you the delivery of my hand was the rotation of my body. Eyes too. And remember, your hand could have came from your pocket. I could have go grab the family jewels. I could grab the tool that he has in his pocket, right? Prevent him from even using that, right? From my hand, boom. But as this one grows, this one grew. This one's going to back it up. And when you practice all the time, it just becomes second nature. I really don't have to think about what's going to come out next, because if there's something stopping me, I'm going to go under it. If something stops me there, I'm going to keep going there, right? Raking the eyes. We move on. Elbows. Spinning on the spine. Balls of your feet are the hinges. Quickly. I raise it up over the table and I come straight across. You see how well I'm hit? That's going to go back to coverage. I'm going to come back on the other side and cut them there. I like to use 2-3 inches of elbow, but if you used more, that doesn't make me sad in any way, right? But the more acute the touch, the more chance of cutting. The bigger part of the forearm you use, the more you're just going to shake his brain, which is not a bad thing, right? Horizontal. My feet are the hinges. Choppers coming over the top. Look at my coverage. Ribs, my hip turn. My foot is in a ball on my foot. I got foundation here. I can move forward. I can move back. I'm not stuck. But we're going on the premise that the bad guy came to me. If it was a really bad situation and I had to go to the bad guy, that's going to make the newspaper, right? Here, horizontal. Choppers. Uppercut. See? If I didn't pivot, I would have missed them. But because I pushed off the ground, rotated my hip, I attacked with the tip, and because I turned my chest, I'm still in this pocket. I got a chin there. I could have came from the top, gave him some grace there. Hammer blow, head. Oh, it's just a lovely one. You just, in your practice, it will pour out of you like a painter paints. Somebody who cooks. Guys, this is my stew. Knuckles, knees, elbows, improvisation when it comes to saving your life. Never forget the fajita plate. Don't forget the spatula. I got a spatula. I'll put it in your head, and then you still have to go to, you know what I'm saying. Across, over, uppercuts, thrusting elbow, right? You move a person back, boom, right? I don't want to push him back because he's going to leave the frame. But that, my eyes, the thought process of this is the hole, and I attack with the big bones. See, I'm protected. I know I'm not the smallest guy, but I become a small target because I'm hiding behind my bones. I never sell my face. I'm in this pocket. I'm always behind my hands, hiding, avoiding, right? We don't want to take impact just because we can, because the impact might be a razor blade, right? The impact might be something that only has to touch you once to hurt you. So we don't want that happening, all right? Let's keep moving. 5 minutes down is perfect, right? I'm going to give you these elbows because they're sweet, right? Across, over, uppercuts, thrusting. I could be standing sideways. I look, I walk my way to the bad guy, boom, and I come back out. Not out here in front of me with all this extra energy coming across, driven from the far foot, boom, in and back out to protection, and maybe I'm here. Elbows from the rear, right? You're spinning on your spine. You're going to go to solar plex. You're going to go to chin, right? I look, I line up the shoulder, boom, right to the solar plex, right to the chin. I wouldn't stay here forever. I come out, make my way around, boom, maybe going to that exit, maybe going to that exit. I hit him in the groin on the way. Right? Simple, right? They're behind you. You look at them, you hit them. They're behind you. You aim that shoulder, you hit them. See this other hand? Boom, it's ready to go. It's ready to help me. We only hit people because we have to. Not because we can, because we must. Couple of knees here. Very simple. Never walk small to do anything that big. Right? And you should be able to knee where you are, toes down, hands high, boom. A lot of times you see people knee, they pull that person down. The only way you would do that is maybe you had to knee them in the face. Better make sure you're right for doing that. And the problem I have with that is maybe you should use one hand for that because there's always somebody else. But if you know there's nobody else, then you can grab somebody. Otherwise, I like to cut across the windpipe here. I keep my elbow low. That keeps me protected. Maybe I'll mush the face and then knee, right? Simple. Here, knee forward, toes down. Boom, you knee them and you pull it back. If you can't knee the air, if you can't elbow and hit in the air and tell your hands what to do, right, before it's happening, it's not going to happen when all hell's breaking loose, right? You have to train. You have to put it in your body a little bit, right? Has to come from a little bit of muscle memory. Last thing here is a snapping kick. Just a regular snap kick. Knee comes up. I use the ball of my foot, something you stand on all the time, and I kick, boom, right to the groin. If you stretch and you're part of that little bit of workout world, then boom, you can kick somebody. Boom, you can kick somebody right in the mouth. Nobody would expect that from the old man, right? 4 parts, knee, foot, knee, back to the ground. Skip 2 and 3, 1 and 4. 1, back to the ground, solid stance. Hands are ready, early, late. 1 more kick. Standing sideways. Oh, I have a problem. A little slight rotation so both heels are facing this way. Knee comes up, boom, nice heel to the guts, to the knee, to the groin, and then I might come out and get ready, right? Same thing. Up is 1. Up, 2, 3, 4. I see my problem, knee came up to level, boom, nice heel to the target, and I put it right down. Little martial arty, you might get ready right away. Old man style, I hit him, I get into a comfortable stance, breaking the eyes, hitting the ears, chopping the throat, palm strikes, and there it is. All fingers, palm strikes, ridge of the hand, base of the palm, your whole forearm, elbow early, elbow late. Tip of the elbow is excellent, right? Horizontal elbows, chopping in elbows, uppercut elbows, spinning on the spine, getting long, hiding in the shoulder. Good foundation, so you practice striking. You can go fast. Boom, you don't overspin. I hit as deep as I need and I come back. His face is here. There's no reason to hit over here. I'm going to hit and come right back. Boom. So that if he were to pull away, I wouldn't be falling over. I would have used that weapon and put it back away so that I can use it again. My name is Ed Masonette. Just because you're prepared to hit doesn't mean you have to. But if you don't know how to hit, somebody who's already hitting you and do coverage and self-defense and pray there's no weapons involved, if you don't have a little bit of a plan, then you don't have much of a chance. Little bit of training goes a long way. I don't care what kind of training you get. Just get it from a reputable person, see what he's talking about, she's talking about, and just make sure it makes sense. Ed Masonette, School of Life Defense. Not because we can, because we must. I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for stopping in.